Hey guys, welcome back to Rusty Guns. So today I wanted to talk about something that might be a little controversial, I'm not sure, but it's something I've heard people say a lot, and that is, there's these, top three or top five modifications that you need to do to your firearm so that it's working the best it can, and so that you have the perfect gun. And I don't quite agree with that in a sense. And it doesn't have to be a particular type of gun. It doesn't mean it. I've heard it said for Glocks, Shields, 1911s, AR-15s, and shotguns, and all these things. Everybody's got something for every gun. Oh, you got to do this, you got to do that. And one of the problems I have with that is a lot of times they're talking to somebody who's a new shooter, okay, or a new gun owner, and so you're telling somebody who just went out and spent $500 or $600 on a gun that you need to do these things to this gun if you want it to be the best. And I don't think that's a good thing to do to somebody who's new to it and just bought a gun. Now, there is one thing that I kind of agree with, in a sense, which is using a Glock, for example. I've heard this said about Glocks, and I agree with this as far as the Glocks and some other guns that are like this, and that are these factory sights that come on the gun. I think that is something that you should replace, even if you're a new gun owner, when you first get the gun, because you want to have at least some night sights on it, or some very good sights on the gun, because it's going to aid you in your shooting, in learning how to shoot and getting a good sight picture. That's something that's helpful to you. Doing anything else to the gun, I don't think is beneficial, because the person's a new shooter to begin with. If they're not a competent shooter, it doesn't matter if they've done any of those other modifications. It's not going to aid them in the least bit. You could put an awesome trigger on here, but if the person's not a competent shooter, it doesn't matter how good the trigger is. They're still not going to be a competent shooter. It's trigger time, it's practice that they need more than anything else. And so to me, that would be the only modification I would ever suggest to somebody when they first bought a gun, if it had sights like these on it, is to get them a good set of sights on their gun. Other than that, I think having the trigger time with the gun, getting well versed in the gun, knowing how the gun reacts to you, how it feels, all of those things are important before you start making any modifications. And then once you get comfortable with the gun and well versed in the gun, then you can start looking for modifications that make it even better for you. Because a modification I might make to this gun might not be something that is useful to somebody else. Okay, so I would never suggest a modification that I feel is good for me for somebody else. That's just not the way I am. So for me, this modification is the only one that I think is important enough to do right off the start, and that is to change out the sights. Other than that, I say leave the gun the way it is, especially if you're a first-time shooter to a particular brand or firearms in general, and get well versed in the gun, get comfortable with the gun the way it is, and then slowly start to make modifications that make it even better for you. But that's all I got for today. And don't forget, guys, if you want to subscribe to the channel, just click up here. If you want to check out another video, click down there. Thanks a lot for joining me again. See you next time.